Hello there and welcome to Ncba Money Mastery. Karibuni sana on this cold Nairobi weather. My name is Alice Mwaniki. We are coming all the way live from Ncba. We at Ncba, numbers that matter to you matter to us too. Here are some numbers that need to matter to every woman. 17% of women are less likely to borrow formally due to deficiency in financial literacy. Female-headed households save 31% more on average than male-headed households. Women contribute to 20% of the national GDP. In this third season of Money Mastery, we will shine a light on your relationship with your money. This week, we are tackling women and money. Women financial independence has a ripple effect that can be felt throughout the economy, starting from their homes to their communities and to the nation at large. That is why it goes to underscore what we say: educate a woman, you'd have educated a whole nation. Due to this, we have partnered with our leading wealth creation education company, that's Centonomy. And here with us today, I'm happy to say we are with Sheba Njagi, the head of learning and innovation at Centonomy. Sheba, karibu sana.
Asante. Thank you for having me, Alice. At Autonomy, our business is education. So we don't sell financial products like you do, but we excel in making sure that we transform people in being able to get the right information for their financial journey, for their wealth creation journey. And I'm so elated to be here.
Karibu once again, Sheba. So when we look at women from a continent point of view, we see that be it our financial inclusion, be it managing of our finances, be it even in the earnings that we get, we are always disadvantaged when we are compared to men. How did we get here?
Yeah, it's important to know how women got here. For sure, we've come a long way, at least we've come from a point where, years ago, women in business was a foreign phrase as compared to today. Years ago, you and I being in the corporate space or working, being employed was almost a complete new thing to be done. But here we are. So things are changing. Of course, we still have these huge gaps. For example, when it comes to pay, when it comes to how many women are actually benefiting from key investments, there is still a gap. We've come from a long way, but we still have a long way to go. But I'm happy that we are having this conversation today. Look, when I look at the numbers that you are sharing, it just confirms to me that women are playing a big role in making sure that we live a good life from an economic point of view. And that's where financial independence comes in. Financial independence is really, it's not just about money, Alice. It's really about us as women being able to make our own decisions, smart decisions regarding our money, being able to safeguard finances, not only just for our family members, but also for ourselves. As women, we need to grow our businesses and be able to access funding and what we are able to do to need in our businesses so that we're able to do much more and help our world and our economy do better. So I believe we have the ability to do that and take charge of our finances.
I like what you've said. You've said, let us take charge. But how do we take charge of our financial independence journey?
Today, I'd like to share 3 ways you and I and all the women that are watching today can take charge of our finances. Number 1, ladies, we need to make financial independence our top priority. Do you know the fact of life? Thank God now we are living in a place where we are able to access medical health care properly. We are working, we are doing self-care. So much we are able to access. And, research shows that many of us are going to live all the way to 90 years plus. Can you imagine? 90 years old. Right now, I'm my age, I have so many years towards 90. And as women, we are known to be nurturers. We are known to really take care of other people, our children, other people's children, our families, other people's families. We just give give, give. With this in mind, why I'm saying financial independence, we need to make it a top priority, is so that even by the time we are reaching 90, we are able to be free. We are not having to depend on other people, on the government, or even other people's money. And that's where the thought of making sure we are setting up a good, solid emergency plan will be helpful. That's where the thought of actively starting to think about and save for retirement comes in. We need to take charge of our financial independence. Another thing we need to be able to do, Alice, ladies, don't just save, invest, and invest wisely. Saving is good because it buffers you when, in that rainy day when an emergency comes up. But investing helps you to make another extra shilling or more on your money. So it's good for you to start thinking about, how can I make the money that I work so hard for through my job, through my business, how can I make it work for me? And this is where we need to start now engaging ourselves even in risk. Your first thought may be, I don't want to invest in risky things. But there is a correlation between risk and return, and we have to think about what our goals are and how we are able to diversify our monies.
So if I'm getting you right, and if I've gathered what you've said accurately, what you're saying is we need to set short-term to medium-term goals, investment goals and investment plans. So I'm looking at, when you talk about emergency fund, I'm just thinking we need to open a savings account and put something aside for a rainy day. When you're talking about long-term investment plans, let's not get scared. Then I'm thinking you're talking about let's purchase property. If it means we need financing to do that, we have simple solutions, simple property finance solutions that we offer at Ncba. So I think on that we are on the same track, right?
Exactly. So let's start looking at what is in the financial markets for us and make sure we just don't put all our financial eggs in one basket, and that there are many baskets we need to know about and we need to consider. And I hope we'll talk about them, some of them today and some of them in the upcoming Women and Money webinar on the 12th of July. Then the final and third way I would say women can take charge of their finances is to always remember the role of the mind in your money. Let me tell you, the power of the mind is so strong. And that's why it's so important for us to always remember the reason why we do the things we do today is because of our past experiences and also because of the choices we've made thereof. And that's why it's so important for you to map out your cycle of money experiences. Because if you understand your past money matters experiences, if I could use that phrase, then you'll be able to link them to your beliefs. Then you'll be able to link them to your thoughts, because you'll be able to see that's how they are manifesting in your day-to-day. Can you imagine? It's true. It's possible that your past money experiences are manifesting in how you spend, how you save, and how you invest, Alice.
Interesting stuff, Sheba, just right there. You're talking about experiences, beliefs that lead to patterns. Maybe you can just expound, give us an example, just shed some light on that.
Okay. Examples are good. So let me give an example. Imagine if back in the day when I was in primary school, I was that kid who was in class, maybe in class 3 or 4, minding my own business. And then the accountant comes into class and reads out my name and says, yeah, your parents didn't pay school fees. Imagine if I was a girl in high school and I would like some pocket money, to be able to buy certain things and also be like other girls. And then I ask my parents and they're like, yo, money doesn't grow on trees. Imagine if I experienced the sad experience of seeing my parents' household items being auctioned by auctioneers. Yo, those are some tough experiences, right? do you know such kind of experiences can really play a number on your mind, and they can cause you to start believing money is hard to make. You can buy something and then it get lost, and then it can end up manifesting into behavior like, I'm even afraid of buying something. I'm even afraid of investing because what if they take it like the way they did? Or let me spend my money, chop my money because now I have it and I never used to have it. Then I end up becoming a spendthrift. So I hope you're seeing how it's so easy that your current spending, investing, saving habits are inspired by your past experiences. And by the way, it's not just negative experiences. There's someone else who went through positive money matters experience. For example, imagine I saw my parents working really hard. One of them has a job. They're also trying a business on the other hand. They're trying to bring in as much as they can. I could see them trying to invest in one thing or the other. And so that kind of experience can cause me to think, even me, when I grow up and make some money, I'll try and see how to make it work for me. What I'm just trying to say is there is a power in understanding our past money experiences so that we can be able to know whether it is affecting us today, so that we can adjust or improve where need be.
I like what you've mentioned here. And when I actually sit back and reflect and look at even my own life, I see that the decisions I have made, definitely when it comes to money, saving, investing, really comes from what I saw my parents go through, what I was advised by my mother, and then comes the decisions, and it becomes who I am today. And I hope that makes sense. But when I look at everything that we've mentioned, I look at our audience today, Sheba, we have different women represented here. Women who went through positive experiences and they have positive patterns. We have women who went through negative experiences, they have negative patterns. We have women who just lie in the middle. And here you are telling us that we need to either amplify or change how we are looking at money, how we are investing. It's like you're telling us to climb a mountain with bare hands. So, but what is very clear is we need to get to one destination. We need to all have a wealth creators mindset. How do we get there, Sheba?
Yeah, no, I don't want anyone to climb a mountain with bare feet or bare hands. And that's why we are here, for us to be able to share with you what are some of the tools that can support you in this journey. You're right, we will all have different experiences. What I've said is it's good for us to know what those experiences were, because experiences are teachers. And then the good thing about it is no matter what experience we've experienced, we can change our story. And how to change your story when it comes to creating a wealth creators mindset? A couple of things. Number one, we can all do this. Understand the value of time. Remember when we used to write compositions and essays on time is money? It's true even in the investment world. Like, it's time we start with what we have right now, even as we want to grow what we want in the future. And the fact is, there is always a time factor for every investment we put in. So it's good for you to always understand as an investor, time matters. The second thing is, ladies, you know what? You're going to be blessed. Even it's possible you're experiencing blessings right now. That promotion has come or is coming. Your business is starting to improve or it has improved. You're going to get an increase in your job income, your salary income. It's coming. And when it does, invest more as you earn more. Many people who are lifestyle mindset driven, they spend more as they make more, and that's how they are working against themselves. But for us who are now working towards a wealth creators mindset, invest more as you earn more. Put in the work to build assets so that these assets can generate money that will help you to facilitate your future lifestyle goals. So that's a very important thing. And then important, there's a season for everything. The same way, like right now, we are in the cold of Nairobi, somewhere else, they're enjoying their summer. Even our financial situations go through the same thing. So implement budgeting strategies based on the season of your life.
So when I look at everything you've said, you actually remind me of what my mother told me when I started working, where she mentioned that I need to love money enough to look for it, love it enough to make it work for me, but not love it too much because it will end up destroying me. But there's something you've mentioned there that I found very powerful. You talked about budgeting strategies. We as women, we tend to come up with budgets all the time. Some of us will follow, some will not follow. But I'm sure you have some tips that you can give us, some strategies that can help us get to that wealth creators mindset and financial independence journey we are talking about. What would that be?
First of all, Alice, your mom is a wise woman. You are literally in a financial class when she was telling you that, and God bless her wherever she is. So yeah, you're right. Let's talk about budgeting and the strategies. Let's talk about numbers. We also like numbers as well. Fact: women, we are the CFOs of our lives. We are the CFOs of our households. Just think about the number of things you have to do in your life. You have to like literally know what needs to be in the house or in your household. You need to budget for it. You are the one who buys it. You record the payments. You negotiate with the various suppliers, whether it's the house helps or the security guard or whoever you need to work. You just juggle so much. And that's why I'm saying we are CFOs already. And so it means there are so many things we are doing in a very short time or even simultaneously that we need to make sure that we are present, even when it comes to making sure we are budgeting properly. So I'm going to share with you 3 budgeting methods that can support you in different seasons of your financial life. So the first one is what I call the 50, 30, 20 percentage budget allocation. So what does this mean? This is more of a general way of saving. It's a general way of saving. And what it means is from your income, 50% of your income will go to your needs. Needs are the things that are important, they're essential. You have to spend on them. Then 30% goes to your savings and your investments. That is your future. And then 20% goes to your what I call wants, things that are not important, they're not essential, but could definitely support your quality of life. That is one, the general way of budgeting. Then the second one is what I call a debt repayment focused budget allocation. This is for someone who, if you find yourself in a situation where you have some loans, you want to deal with these loans, you want to be debt free soon, this is a budget method you can consider. And it's the one we call the 45, 35, 10, 10 percentage budget allocation. What does this mean? It means you're focused on paying your debt. So from your income, you commit that 45% will go to pay your loans. Okay, then 35% is going now to your needs, the things that are important and essential in your life. 10% goes to, let's say, your savings. It's always good to have something in the buffer. Then the other 10% can go to your wants, the other things that are not important, not essential, but can support you in your quality of life. So that's for someone who is debt repayment focused. The final one is what I call, it's for someone who is savings focused. Maybe now you realize, whoa, I've checked my finances and I've realized I don't even have savings. If anything happened to me right now, I will have to borrow or to call a harambe or something. So if you are savings focused, then we recommend 40, 40, 20 percentage budget allocation. And what does this mean? It means that a huge percentage is going towards your savings. So 40% is of your income is going to your savings, right? Because you're savings focused. The other 40% goes to your needs, the things that are important and essential for you to live. And then the other 20% now can go to your wants. Now, Alice, I know I've talked so much. These are serious numbers, but the good thing is we have a closed webinar coming up Ncba webinar with Centonomy, where we will be digging deeper. So make sure you mark the date on 12th July. And these strategies I've shared with you, they're just a guide. You can use them. You can also customize them depending on your lifestyle, but they are definitely a good guide.
Alice, it's good to know that we are aligned when it comes to numbers. That is one thing we speak together. And definitely, we would be happy to have as many participants as possible on the webinar on the 12th of August. And we'll be happy to delve further into those numbers that you've given us. But nonetheless, Sheba, the numbers you've given us are very insightful. But we should not forget that we as women, we are better savers and we are very risk averse. So what we need to do is to move from that saving perspective and move women to an investment perspective. So how do you propose we do that?
Yes, by the way, it's 12th August. I don't know why I'm still in July. Happy August, everyone. So investing and investing wisely. Now that you've saved your money or you're saving your money, we've said it's critical for us to actively accelerate our investments. To invest wisely, you need to remember that your investments are connected to your goals. There's a famous author and motivational speaker is called Simon Sinek, and he's written this book called Start With Why, all about life and everything. But even for me, when it comes to money, I also say, let's start with why when it comes to our investments. Why do I want to invest this money? Why do I say this? Is because for every goal, for every why, there's a different investment product available for you. So that by the time you're going to your bank or you're going to your financial institutions, you're not telling them, where do I invest? You're telling them, this is my why. Then they're able to tell you, this is what we have to offer. For instance, if your goal is to preserve your money, you know that you will need this money between, let's say, 1 month to 12 months. Then you know your why is preservation. So now then you need to go to the bank and ask them, or the financial institution and ask them, hey, what do you have that I can invest in for between 1 to 12 months or for purposes of capital preservation?
And if you would come to us and ask me that question, Sheba, what I would tell you is, let's open an Ncba high yield account, because of that you'll be earning interest every month, and you'll get your money after 12 months. That means you'll have a way of preserving your capital as is. Or I'll tell you, let's do a fixed deposit account and get your money after 12 months. You'll get favorable interests and you'll be able to preserve your capital again as is.
Fantastic, fantastic. All right, someone else can say, no, my goal is not really preserving, I've already preserved. My goal is to generate an income. If my goal is to generate an income, then I need to go back and speak to you again, or to the bank, financial institution, and ask them, what can I invest in that can help me to generate an income or to get a good income from my investment? Yeah, that's another reason.
Tell you, why don't we do property purchase? We have simple property finance solutions. We can look at, do you want to purchase 1 rental unit, 2 rental units that you can be able to have short-term stays? Is it Airbnb? Is it a long-term tenant? That will give you that long-term investment option. Or I'll tell you, okay, we can look at the stocks, shares. Let's invest some money as we diversify into the shares market. We'll definitely assist you on that. Let's look at, can we talk about government bonds? Because they do have good returns, but you have to put the money for a longer tenor. And that can be an option that we can discuss at Ncba.
Exactly. So I hope now everybody has understood. For you to invest wisely, start with the why. Is it preserving? Is it generating an income where you have some medium term and long term? Or is it the other one we usually call capital growth, where you're saying, I am not in a hurry for this money. I'm willing for it to go and grow and grow, come back to me in like 10, or 7 to 10 years or so, and maybe I'll have a good return out of it. If that's the case, then you can talk to the financial institutions and ask them, do you have options for such kind of a goal? Yeah.
And those options will always be available, simplified, and we are very willing and able to discuss them. But after we've discussed so much, Sheba, the question would be, what are the three main points we need to take home from this conversation?
3 take-home points. Number 1, you are highly capable of taking charge of your finances. You're capable. It doesn't matter where you're starting from. Just say, I'll start with, whether it's a small amount, I'll start with this. If it's a big amount, I'll start with this. You are capable. Remember, your mind is powerful. If you tell yourself, I can do it, then you can start making the very first step. Map out your experiences so that you can understand why you do the things you do. Number 2, purpose to nurture a wealth creator's mindset and always know your seasons because seasons change. Finally, we've talked about your why. Always be crystal clear of your why for investing, of your investment goals, so that you can choose the right investment vehicle. And then join us and on the webinar that's coming up in August, and let's go deeper with these points.
So I think where we come in, Sheba, as a financial institution is we give you options to meet your why. As you've come out very clearly, it needs to be crystal clear what we want to achieve. So whatever achievement we want, whatever goal we have in mind, we would be ready, willing, and able to give you a tool that can help you get to where you want to go. Time now for a quick break. When we come back, we'll be taking questions. Please put in your questions on the comment section and we'll be ready, willing, and able to answer them just after the break.
With our Ncba Bank Home Loan, we can finance up to 105% of mortgage and give you a repayment period of up to 25 years.
Daddy, that is 25 birthdays for me in our own home. Many suppers together. Lots of laughter with my mommy.
We know that it's not about the house, but the many memories made in it. Get an NCBA home loan with up to 105% financing. The name is NCBA, and the numbers that matter to you matter to us. NCBA Bank. Go for it.
Welcome back to Money Mastery from the bank that says go for it. I have been speaking to the head of learning and innovation at Centonomy, that is Sheba Njagi, and we've been talking about women and their relationship with money. So we have a couple of questions from our viewers. Our first question is coming from Joanne. Thank you very much for joining us on this cold morning once again. And you're asking, does Ncba provide investment advice to women who want to invest? Where, what, how to invest? Joanne, I would want to assure you, yes, indeed we do. We do have relationship managers who can be able to guide and direct and give you the tools that you would need to be able to achieve your goal. So if you're able to reach us, we would be glad to have a further discussion with you. We can reach out to you and let's discuss on what is it that you want to achieve. And then we can match that with what tool do we have available to be able to help you reach your goal. Next to our second question, that is Cynthia Nyambura. Cynthia, asante sana. Maybe you could guide us on how to go about identifying mortgage-friendly investments. Are there house purchases that are suitable for low-income earners? Sheba, how would you respond to this one?
Are there house purchases that are suitable for low-income earners? I believe there are. I think it's always just good to, what we usually say at Centonomy, you need to do your due diligence. The real estate property is huge. There are many options. There are those that usually say there are low income housing options. Then there are different types of property options available. So it's good for you to study and the market, find out what's available, who you want to serve. So then now you can be able to find out what are also the costs. What's the cost implication for this kind of property? There are certain people, as you had mentioned a little earlier, Alice, there are those people who are investing in studios, for example. There are those who are even investing in those, I've been seeing online, those low cost housing options that are available. So it's good for you to do your research to find out what's available, look at your income, see how you're putting aside your money, and also see if your bank, for example, Ncba has options available for you as well, and see how they can support you on that.
And just to add on to that, Sheba, now from a banker's financial institution point of view, what we can also do for Cynthia, for you, Cynthia, is we can be able to just do an analysis of how much you can also accommodate. And based on that, that would help be able to guide you on what investment options, what houses, as Sheba has alluded to, could it be a studio? Could it be a one-bedroom apartment? Could it be in Nairobi, outside Nairobi, or whichever town that you're in that you can be able to afford, and where the return on the investment is also very, very good. Then we have Alice Njoroge. Alice, welcome, and thank you for being with us this morning. And the question is, what do you have that I can invest in 5 years to generate an income other than stocks or bonds? This particular option, we can talk about the different options that are available. We can talk about, would you want to put the money aside? If you're talking about 5 years, would you be agreeable to putting the money in a savings account? Would you be agreeable for us to do it, put the money in a fixed deposit account? Would you be agreeable for us to talk about money trusts, unit trusts? These are all options that are available to our customers, and we can be able to discuss them further. Then we have Kimberly Kimeria. She's saying most women invest in chamas. How can they be used as avenues for wealth creation? Sheba?
I like that question because I always say chamas or investment groups' purpose is to help you do what you cannot do on your own. So, and it's true, so many women are members of chamas, so many chamas are women owned or women driven. In fact, at Centronomy, most of the chama clinics that we do, a huge percentage are women, and that's a good thing. So it means that you've come together as women and you're saying, yo, what can we do for us to be able to grow our money? For you to get the most out of your group, a couple of things. There's a whole story I can share with you, but a couple of things. Number one, make sure you separate social from business. I know many times when chamas come together, you're coming up from a social foundation, either your friends, colleagues, you went to school together. But when you come to start an investment group, make sure you focus on the business aspect, which is really investing. The other thing is, for every investment that you make, or when you're thinking about making investments, as you put your money together, start with the why when it comes to your investments. Always ask yourself, what's the purpose of investing this money? Is it preserving? Is it income generating? Is it capital growth? That can help you narrow down quickly on what investment options you can invest in. So those are some of the ways you can make the most out of your investment group.
Thank you very much, Sheba. Then we have another question here from a gentleman, Steven Asante Sana. He says, I have some cash, about 50,000, that I wish to invest for my wife in a lucrative business. What would your advice be? Sheba, what would be your...
My question is, what does lucrative mean for you, Stephen? It's good to break that down, what that means to you. Business is good, and at least 50K is also a good start point. But before she even starts the business, one thing I could say is what is she interested in doing? What are her strengths? What are her talents? What are her abilities? It's because, when you are also starting a business, don't just do things because other people are doing it. Do it because you have seen there is a gap. Is there a gap she has seen? Is there an opportunity she has identified and she feels that her products or services are going to be able to meet that? Let this be solution driven. She needs to also start doing what I would call a simple version of market research to go and find out what is needed for her potential clients. So that by the time now you're putting money in this business, you're putting up a business that's coming to solve a problem, not just to give someone money to work or do stuff. Every business needs to solve a problem. So what is a problem? Does she understand the problem? Is she willing to solve the problem? And even one other advice I would give as she decides to get into business, enter with a long-term overview in mind. Don't get into business thinking you're going to make money in 3 months. Stephen, you start telling her, I want my money back in 6 months or 12 months. That won't be realistic. So she needs to go with a long-term plan in mind. And she also needs to separate her finances. She needs to have a business account and also a personal account so that her finances don't mix.
And I like what you've mentioned there, whereby we need to do a market survey. It needs to be based on to know what the needs of that area is, and we need to also know what the interest of the person starting the business is, so that we can merge the two and we can have a long-term goal. So, Stephen, I hope that would also assist you. Then we have Christina Bet. Christina is asking, what are some of the hurdles that hold back women from investing apart from fear? Because Sheba, we had talked about fear.
Other things that hold back women from investing is maybe being fed, having the wrong tribe or the wrong people in your tribe, people who are not supporting you or advising you wrongly can also be something that's preventing you from investing or from doing what you need to do. Lack of knowledge or lack of information is also something that is a big hurdle that's preventing women from investing. And that's where we come in. That's why we are doing these money mastery sessions to help you get the right information so that you're able to make the right choices. So make sure you have the right tribe. Also follow the right pages that also are giving you the right information. And also over planning. Many women are also, they like things going according to plan. So every time they're feeling like maybe this is a little money, let me wait till it's enough. Let me wait till it's a lot. Start with what you have. You don't need to start with 50,000. How about you start with a 5,000 or 1,000 that you have, and then you keep building it.
That is very wise advice. Then we have another gentleman, Ezekiel. Ezekiel is asking, if I want to retire in 25 years and earn 50,000 a month, how much should I invest and where?
That's a good question. Ezekiel, what I would say, the first thing based on your income, it's very important for you to do your monthly budget so that you can see how much is going to every aspect of your budget and then how much you're able to set aside. One thing that is recommended, speak to a financial institution that maybe has a pension plan, especially if you are the one contributing yourself, because there are different ways of contributing to your pension. There, depending on where you work, if you are employed, there are certain companies that are willing to match your pension. If you work in such a company, it's good for you to go and either ask them, so how much do you match pension, so that when I contribute X, I'm able to you're also able to match for me. If they don't match, then it means you can start. The good thing about pension saving, especially if it's through a pension scheme, you can start from as low, even if I'm not wrong, even 2,000, even 1,000. Then as you keep growing, you make sure you also increase your contribution. So what I'm trying to say to your question of how much should I invest You're the one to decide, Ezekiel. I can't tell you, put 10, put 20, you are the one to decide how much am I willing from my budget to take towards my pension. Get the right pension scheme to work with, let them tell you their benefits. Also make sure if you are employed, let your employer know that you're actually making a contribution to a pension so that they can make sure they do the needful when it comes to your payroll, because you're supposed to be able to get a tax benefit from there as well, depending on how much you contribute. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Sheba. Then we have another question from Bhavna Dev. Do you have any schemes for teachers in borrowing? And do you have to be banking with Ncba? So I can take this. In terms of teachers who are borrowing, indeed, we do have schemes and we do have lending products that you can be able to access from Ncba Bank. Do you have to be banking with us? Every circumstance is different. So we will review you when you come to us and we can be able to advise you on what it is that we would require so that we can be able to extend the facility to you. That would be my answer to you, Bhavna, and I'd welcome you to give us your contacts and we'll be sure to contact you. Then we have Omar Abdallah. He asks, how do I discipline myself in my salary? Thank you so much, Omar, for that question. Maybe let's see if I've learned something from you, Sheba, today. I think what we are talking here is then we come back to budgeting strategies, whereby Omar needs to identify, does he have debts to be able to go with the budget plan that goes with the debt plan that's 45, 35, 10, 10, or is it that is he focused on saving his money? Then that would establish how much essentially he can be able to save depending on his circumstances. What do you think?
You are a fantastic student, Alice. So yeah, perfect. Exactly what you've said. And another thing I'd recommend to Omar, write down your goals somewhere. Ask yourself, how bad do I want to achieve these goals? Because maybe when you see the goals every day, whether it's on your wall or on your phone or on your laptop, it will remind you why you need to keep on showing up for yourself through putting money aside and through investing. It has to come from within. And then use the strategies we have shared. You should be on your way to starting to implement some of these strategies.
So we come to our last question, coming from Helen Wairimu, Helen Asante. What strength does the millennial and Gen Z woman have when it comes to investing as opposed to the older generation?
Wow, Helen, that's a smart question. I love it so much. Helen, can you imagine your bank is literally running a webinar for you today? Your bank is sponsoring a whole conversation for you to give you insights, information. So that's one of the things that's working for you. That's a strength that you have. Strength to access to information, financial literacy information that can help you make decisions is a strength that these two generations have that they can continue leveraging on. Access to gadgets like your phone, technology. So it means if you had a question, you can easily go online and learn more if you wanted. Another thing that you have that these two generations have working for them, and that's a strength, is the ability to be more, the ability to do more than one thing. Back in the day, like my mom's generations and even the others, it's like there was a written rule. You can only be a teacher. You can only be a banker. You can only be, a shop attendant. But now we have options. You can be a banker and at the same time you're selling stuff online, or you can be like me. I work at Centonomy. I also run my own business as a coach. You can be so many things that can help you generate income, not just one thing, and it can help you to grow. So that freedom of choice, freedom of knowledge, ability to be able to be a multidimensional being, for you to create your income, more income. These are some of the strengths that these two generations can leverage on today.
Well, last but not least, now not another question, but it's a big thank you to Adina for joining us again this season. You've been a super fan and you've been joining us since season 2. I hope that the season has helped you, and we do appreciate you. We'll reach out to you to get your details so that we can send you a gift from ourselves. So that's all the time we had for you today on this edition of Ncba Money Mastery, powered by Centonomy. Remember to join us for our webinar on the 12th of August 2021. And if you'd like to join us, please be sure to sign up using the link on the pinned comments. To learn more about our products and our services, please log into our website, ke.ncbagroup.com. Or better yet, you can also call us on our numbers. We can be able to assist, or you can like us on our social media handles. My name again is Alice Mwaniki, and until next time, when you look at a set of numbers that matter to you, goodbye and keep safe.